What's up? What's up? We back. We're back. It's been a long time, man. We are back with another fire stream. Make sure you go like, comment, and subscribe. It's your boy Mike K. Smith. How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling? It's been a lot of excitement going on in the WNBA as we're getting to the final push of the WNBA regular season. And it's been a lot of conversations going around. It's been a lot of drama. It's been a lot of things that have been heating up outside the game and on the court. But I want to talk about the Rookie of the Year race. I want to talk about the WNBA rookies. I want to talk about also who I believe, if things would have been different early on the season, who I believe who would be more higher in the Rookie of the Race standings or rankings, so to say. But as there as we talk about the WNBA, we talk about CaitlinClark, we talk about AngelReese. There's a rookie that needs their respect. There's a rookie that, to me, is a certified bucket. Arika Jackson. She is a hooper. She is a calm hooper, plays the game at her own pace, understands the importance of getting to her spots on the basketball court. She is a spot killer. She plays within the flow of the offense. She can score in a variety of ways. She can score inside. She can score at the second level of the basketball court. She can extend out to the perimeter. Arika Jackson is a bucket. She is a calm hooper. She's never in a hurry, always understanding when to be aggressive and when to pull back. And she understands that, you know what? I can play within the flow of the offense. She's an easier plug in and go type of player when we talk about the three rookies in CaitlinClark and Arika Jackson and also AngelReese. And when we talk about portability, you don't really have to change much of your offense around Jackson. You can plug her in and play. When you're CaitlinClark is an engine. She has to have the ball in her hands to really be a factor, to really dominate, to really contribute, because that is her play style. She is an engine. AngelReese, she is a hustle player. She gets bored, she rebounds, you can plug her in, but we know traditionally she's a big man, but in the game of basketball, things are starting to become positionless and things of that nature. So even plugging her into certain teams is going to be a little bit more difficult compared to Jackson. Jackson is a portable player. She's also the most efficient rookie. She's also the most, I want to say, polished rookie when we talk about scoring in a variety of ways and scoring in every angle, in every spot on the court. She is a calm hooper once again because she plays in her own way, controls pace, and also she knows how to get to spots on the basketball court without really messing up the flow in the offense. And maybe that is to her detriment a little bit, because there's been times watching her, I want her to be more aggressive. I want her to take over the games more. There's be times like you're watching her and she's got 15, 17 points in the first half, and then she ends up with 19 for the rest of the game. But when she starts understanding to be more aggressive, to allow to be honest, have more minutes on the basketball court, because the Sparks, they weren't playing her at first enough minutes. And now she's getting the minutes that she's deserving. She's showing that she really is the best player on her team, to be honest. And I know, Hamley is there, but like, to me, I think she's the most polished player. She's the most smooth player. She's the best scorer that they have. And she plays within the flow of the offense. And you love players like that if you're a coach. That's very adaptable and very portable. And also she gets after on the defensive side as well. And she's going to continue to improve on that part of her game. So I love her play style. I love her game. And I really, truly believe if the season started with her getting the type of minutes that she is having now, it wouldn't be a conversation with CaitlinClark and AngelReese. I think it would be more a conversation with CaitlinClark and Arika Jackson, because of the fact of the matter is that she's super efficient, more efficient than CaitlinClark, more efficient than AngelReese, and she's a three-level scorer and a two-way player. And we look at the stats, she's averaging 12 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist per game. She's shooting 46% for the field, 35% for the three-point line, 76% for the free throw line. Her effective field goal percentage is 51%. So she's really efficient. And once again, she plays in the flow of the offense, which could be to her detriment at times. But as she gets more comfortable, as she gets, I want to say permission, maybe or when the team owners or coaches really start like, yo, we're about to make our playbook center around her, her production is going to increase for us, her scoring volume, because we're already starting to see it, in these recent games where she's been scoring in the high 20s. And, I think she had 27 points last game. So she's a problem. She's a bucket. And then we're talking about CaitlinClark, who I believe is the unanimous Rookie of the Year. I think it's without a question. I think I think everybody is penciling at who's going to be number 2, but CaitlinClark is the Rookie of the Year. She's deserving. She's great. She's an engine, 4-level scorer. She's coming on as a scorer more so than a passer these last few games, and that's what the Indiana Fever need if they're going to go out and make a run in the playoffs. But that's also what the Indiana Fever need for CaitlinClark to reach her ultimate and fullest potential, which I believe she's going to do someday. But we know her passing, her playmaking, defenders can't ice her because her wraparound passes, like her court vision is phenomenal. She's extremely difficult to guard on the basketball court, and she's a killer with her passing, with her scoring ability. To me, she's unanimous MVP. I'm sorry, she's unanimous Rookie of the Year without question, and she's low-key an MVP candidate. If we're being frank about it, if we're being real about it. But unfortunately, in the Fever, they were really struggling at the beginning of the season, but that's due to the fact that the WNBA really placed all the best teams to market the game more and to also to market CaitlinClark, and really did them a disservice with them playing the Aces, the Connecticut, the Liberty, like playing those the three best, the Seattle Storm, playing those 4 best teams so early on in the schedule, and also them playing the most games because they wanted to highlight CaitlinClark when we know rookies coming in, they have a shorter the WNBA rookies have a shorter offseason compared to the NBA rookies, because we know after the college season, it's go time. You only got 3 weeks training camp, and it's time for the season to start because of the seasons in the summer. But CaitlinClark has been phenomenal. She's been killing. And a lot of people are quick to hate on CaitlinClark. A lot of people are quick to hate on everything that she's brought to the WNBA. And I want to shout out Tina Charles, because she came out and she basically was saying how just gave her flowers. And I think that's needed more in the WNBA. I think people need to give players their flowers, especially these rookies, because it's important, because we want to highlight and showcase the best talent in the league, but we also want the league to grow. And we can't do that when you got the media or you got players constantly bickering at each other and being petty and not willing to understand the importance of elevating a player to hopefully elevate the league entirely, and doing, and not just with CaitlinClark, with other rookies as well. And then we talk about CaitlinClark. We talk about like the marketability factor. We talk on everything that she's brought on the court, but also off the court for us, the marketability factor, due to the fact that the merchandise sales and the growth of the game in every arena is also packed. And we talk about away games as well, which all that does is allow things to highlight other teams as well, getting people to come because they're coming to watch CaitlinClark, but they're also getting to see the basketball product and a great product on the basketball court for a variety of teams. And hopefully that would increase attendance, not just for when they play the Indiana Fever and CaitlinClark, but it starts to increase attendance around the league for other teams, because they can see how great of the basketball product and how great and skilled these girls are. So shout out to Tina from the Atlanta Dream. I think that's very vital. I think that's very important. And that brings me to also AngelReese. AngelReese is phenomenal. She just broke a record, I think 3 consecutive games of 20 rebounds or more. That's very impressive, regardless of the fact of the matter. Some people are saying, well, she's throwing up shots and she's collecting her own boards. It was a report that came out that said that if you took away all the rebounds of her missed shots and her still gathering rebounds, if you took those rebounds away, she would still be leading the league in rebounds per game. So she's a beast on the glass. She's a generational rebounder. And I look at CaitlinClark, I look at AngelReese, I look at Jackson. Jackson has the potential to be one of the best scorers in the WNBA for years to come as she continues to develop. CaitlinClark has the potential to be an all-time great and arguably possibly the best passer this league has ever seen in the WNBA. AngelReese, as she continues to develop and she continues to improve, she has a chance to be a force in her prime. So I look at these three rookies. They are the big three. They are the top three ranked rookies for us, like Rookie of the Year potential for us, CaitlinClark, AngelReese, Aretha Jackson. And they've been beautiful to watch. I will say they've been fun to watch. They've been beautiful to watch. It's been very engaging. And the conversations off the court and off the court on social media, whether if you're not looking at the hate, if you're just looking at the praise, these three ladies have been very, very special. And I'm hoping that they all have continued success going forward. But I just want to come on and make this stream talking about a lot of conversations about the Rookie of the Year race. And I want to make this conversation more so about Aretha Jackson because I feel like she's deserving of recognition because her game is so smooth. She's very, very polished. And she's the epitome of what you want as a basketball player for us, being portable, being able to score at all levels, and also being able to become a capable defender. Like when we think about a creative basketball player, and you create a basketball player on 2K, a lot of times we're creating a player that fits all those metrics. 3-level score, two-way capability, also extremely portable where you can play within the offense and things of that nature. And it has the handle ability. It can score and understand the pointillistic details on the basketball court for us getting to their spots and going to work and getting a bucket, and also knowing how to score in those spots in a different variety of ways, whether it's the face-up game, whether it's the fadeaway, whether it's coming off the P&R, or whether it's, catch and shoot. Aretha Jackson, she's able to do all that as a rookie. And it's early. She's going to be a phenomenal player. She's a calm hooper, plays the game at her own pace. Once again, I'm saying it again, she's a calm hooper, plays the game at her own pace, and plays within the offense. She is a problem. And if it wasn't due to the fact that the Sparks wasn't giving her the minutes that she deserved, I think that her production, her stats would be higher. And I think we would be talking about CaitlinClark and her for a Rookie of the Year race more so than CaitlinClark and AngelReese if she would have got the same type of minutes that she's receiving now. But that's here nor there. CaitlinClark's number one. I think she's unanimous. Rookie of the Year, AngelReese, who is also coming out with a podcast, who recently stated she did a written report for Complex talking about interview, talking to Complex, talking about how she doesn't really care about the Rookie of the Year race anymore, probably due to the fact that we all know who the Rookie of the Year is going to be. But she's doing big things. She just signed with Reese's, and she's about to drop a podcast with the Playmaker. So she's doing a lot of great things. I love the marketability, and Aretha Jackson, who is gorgeous, really, really beautiful woman. She's probably one of the best dressed athletes in the WNBA, if not the best. Like, she's getting modeling deals and things of that nature. So, and then we got CaitlinClark, who we know signed with Nike, going to have a signature shoe coming out. So these ladies are really doing great, great things for themselves and also for the game of basketball when we talk about the WNBA as a whole. And I'm very excited to see how the end of the season is going to shape out. I'm very excited to see who is going to make it to the WNBA playoffs. I'm very excited to see what's going to happen between the Indiana Fever and Chicago Sky. We saw the great game this past weekend against the Las Vegas Aces with Kennedy Carter, who to me is the best player in Chicago Sky. And it was crazy that they were down and they had her out for most of the fourth quarter, and she came in and she got to work and she was hitting jump shots and hitting threes, and she's not really known as a perimeter threat type of player, but she was getting to that chicken. And we know what's going on with CaitlinClark and the Indiana Fever, they're surging at the right time with Kelsey Plum being one of the best pure hoopers and pure scorers in the league. And when Boston is on and she's engaged and she's locked in and she's not just scoring, but also she's playmaking. She's one of the best playmaking bigs out there that people don't tend to talk about. And she's another player that really you can plays the game the right way and doesn't need a lot of touches to really be successful, even though I think they are better when she is getting her touches early on because she gives them a legitimate another offensive threat and they have a big three on their team. So when we talk about rookie of the year, we look at Cardoso from Chicago Sky. And since we're talking about the rookies and we're talking about, or we're talking about Arika Jackson and AngelReese and things of that nature, CaitlinClark, I want to know, like in the chat, who do y'all feel like is going to have the better? You know what? I think I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say that for a different stream because that's gonna be a different. That's gonna be a really great conversation. Probably, I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say that. Don't get mad at me, Chad. I'm gonna say that for a different stream because I want to have a conversation that's centered around that. Probably maybe when the season ends or depending on who makes the playoffs and who doesn't make the playoffs. I think we can ask that question. But I really appreciate y'all. And I'll be back for another stream. We're going to be streaming right after that Connecticut game versus the Fever because that's going to be a game that is really going to test the Indiana Fever and really going to show like, okay, well, you've been playing well. The Indiana Fever, they've been playing well against certain teams. Let's see how they match up against some of the big teams in the WNBA. And that's going to like also test them and also see like, are the Indiana Fever really surging or are they just beating up on bad teams? And if they're really surging at the right time, and if they really are going to be like Sue Bird, a potential threat in the playoffs due to their speed, due to their pace, due to their having, this perimeter game and an engine like CaitlinClark, I want to see them play against the big teams. And it's going to be a big time matchup because we know the Connecticut, they play defense. Like they're probably arguably one of the best defensive teams in the league, if not the best defensive team in the league. So I'm very interested to see how their high octile offense is going to pair against Connecticut's, rough, tight, physical, aggressive perimeter defense. And that's going to be a game that's going to be a big-time game for the Indiana Fever if they can pull it off. And also is going to be a big-time game for the Connecticut Sun to kind of remind folks like, yo, we are a legitimate title contender and title threat. And also, I think we have a matchup in Alyssa Thomas and CaitlinClark who are both fighting for, to me, to be first team all WNBA, regardless of who I feel like should personally be first team all WNBA. But this matchup, even though they are different positions, even though she's like Alyssa Thomas is like a tweener, she's a guard forward, I don't know what she is. But like, according to reports right now, for the first team all WNBA, they have Alyssa Thomas over CaitlinClark. That's what's being reported right now due to the early votes for it's like the first team all NBA. And I know, and CaitlinClark is probably going to be on the second team all on the WNBA. But I think that like this game, if CaitlinClark can dominate, if CaitlinClark can go out and showcase her scoring ability, most importantly, not just her passing ability, but her scoring ability against a physical defensive team who has perimeter defenders as well, like Dejanay Carrington, like Alyssa Thomas can guard as well. Like I think it's very, very important. Brianna, like they got some players in Connecticut, but I really feel like this is a great matchup for CaitlinClark to show that not only am I going to be the unanimous Rookie of the Year, but I have a case to be on the first all WNBA team as well over a particular player that, to me personally, I feel like it's great, it's excellent, but I think it's levels when we talk about an engine on your team, when we talk about a CaitlinClark who's really dissecting the Roaring team, and when we talk about a player that Alyssa Thomas, who is really great, extremely good, but averaging close to a low-level triple-double. I think it's a difference. I think it's a balance. And I think it's a lot of conversation on a lot of people feel like one player is better than another player isn't better than another player because they're a rookie. But it's conversations that we're going to have and we're going to talk about. And what better way to talk about it than after the game against the Indiana Fever and Connecticut Sun? There's no rookie of the rear race. Duncan, I mean, people can say that, but at the end of the day, once again, if you were on for the early part of the stream, the Rookie of the Year race is a lot of people thought it was going to be CaitlinClark, AngelReese, and they were neck and neck at a moment. I just said I feel like CaitlinClark should be the unanimous Rookie of the Year. She won't be because it's going to be people that's going to hate and not going to vote her unanimously due to all the stuff that's been going on since she's entered the league. Unfortunately, that's just the way the cookie crumbles. LeBron James wasn't the first unanimous MVP when he was with the Miami Heat in 2013, even though he should have been. So that's just the way the cookie crumbles, and that's going to happen with CaitlinClark. So everybody should be prepared for it, because at the end of the day, people have agendas and people like who they like and they don't like who they don't like. So it is what it is. But it is a Rookie of the Year race because last time I checked, it's always a top three in categories, just like it's an MVP race. So saying like it's not a MVP race because Angel Wilson is the best player in the league and been the most consistent player offensively and defensively, and everybody knows that like she's most likely 99% going to win the MVP race. I'm sorry, does not mean it's not a race between to see who's going to come in that second and those third slots, because at the end of the day, those slots do matter when we look at historical context, especially going on in the future. If they go off and they capture to an MVP award, those things tend to matter. But once again, I really appreciate y'all. It's your boy, Mike Smith. Make sure y'all go like, comment, and subscribe. And, hold up. We got one player as an MVP candidate. The other is not, but there's our rookie. It's one player leads all categories, rookies, 7 rebounds, but it's a race. I think you guys don't really, VVS, I think you guys don't really listen and understand before you guys sometimes comment. And I think what tends to happen with fans of a particular team, or stands as I call it, the problem is when we talk about the game of basketball and when we talk about players and we talk about fan base, the issue is you think just because you have a personal feeling about something that makes it a fact. But let me hear you. I'm going to tell you guys something. Just because you personally feel something doesn't mean it's an automatic fact. That means you just personally feel something. I can personally feel, as a Dallas Cowboy fan, that they're going to go out and win the Super Bowl. But that's just a personal feeling until they go out and actually do it. People can feel that, like, CaitlinClark is an MVP candidate, but when they go out and have the votes and they go out and pick and select who is the top 3 MVP candidates, that doesn't mean that, like, just because I feel some way or somebody else feels some way doesn't mean it's going to automatically happen. So once again, when we talk about the MVP race or we talk about the Rookie of the Year race, even if it's a front runner, does not mean there's not a race. The front runner is CaitlinClark, who I've said multiple times I believe is unanimous Rookie of the Year. But the way Erika Jackson is playing and how she's the most efficient rookie and the most probably polished scorer in the rookie class, as well as just the most portable and adaptable rookie, she's been surging at the right time. Am I saying that she's going to overtake CaitlinClark and to become the Rookie of the Year? No, I am not. But to say it's not a Rookie of the Year race, you're being foolish due to your personal feelings about who you feel like should win Rookie of the Year, and you want to make it seem like there's no rookie race. It may not be a race to the first spot, just like it ain't no race to the first spot for MVP for Angel Wilson, but at the same time, you have that number 2 spot. You have that number 3 spot. You have people that want to be selected as your so-called finalists. It's like when they do the Heisman Award. they have finalists. When they do the Rookie of the Year award, they have finalists. When they do the Defensive Player of the Year award, they have finalists. When they do the MVP, they have finalists. So, therefore, that's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that I really believe that CaitlinClark should be the unanimous Rookie of the Year without question. Will she be? Once again, I already said it earlier in the stream. No, she won't be because of hate, pettiness. We already seen it with the media, players in the league, stuff like that. She won't be the unanimous Rookie of the Year, even though her game says so. She's a low-key MVP candidate to me. I think she has a potential argument to be first team, even all WNBA. And some people may say I'm crazy based on that. But based on my eyes and the stats, I don't think I'm so crazy. But unfortunately, like just because I feel something don't mean that like it's automatically going to happen. Even though like if you look at the stats and the evidence and the context, some of the things I'm saying should happen. But once again, personal feelings aren't always facts. So that's what I'm saying. There is a Rookie of the Year race because even though CaitlinClark, I believe she's going to win. I believe she should be unanimous. She's probably not going to be unanimous. But also during the Rookie of the Year race due to the finalists, I think we have Aretha Jackson who potentially, based on the way she's playing right now, I think she's playing better than AngelReese. And if I was on a committee and I was doing a ballot and they asked me who was my second most impressive rookie, even though we know what AngelReese is averaging a double-double, what she's been doing, breaking records, based on the eye test and based on the efficiency portion, Aretha Jackson is more efficient than CaitlinClark and AngelReese. And the way she's playing right now and how polished and smooth she is, I would probably consider her the second. I think from the eye test standpoint, I think she's the second best rookie outside of CaitlinClark. That's just from the eye test standpoint. Then we look at the stats and you look at team impact and you look at all those other things and you combine those things, most people will say, well, AngelReese is higher than her in the Rookie of the Year race. But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It is a race, even though CaitlinClark is here, everybody else is down here fighting for that number 2 spot. Same as A'ja Wilson's here, everybody else is fighting for that 2 or 3 spot. That's all I'm saying. Man, Cameron Brink would make this even more interesting. Damn shame she got hurt. Yeah, it's really a shame, but also it just goes to show you that her and Jackson are going to be phenomenal. They're going to be special. And even though I don't feel like she would have made it a necessarily a race because her play style was more defensive oriented first. Like, I don't think it would have been more of a race because her play style is like blocking shots, guarding, help side defense. Like, she's still a work in progress on the offensive side of the floor. So I don't really think it would have been like too much of like her getting that push that what she deserves unless you really value defense. And, you know, unfortunately, what sells tickets is offense. And a lot of times defense constantly gets overlooked because a lot of people are overlooking defense when we talk about the Rookie of the Year race for is AngelReese. Like she's a better defensive player than probably Jackson and CaitlinClark, you know, both of those players. So due to her ability of guarding perimeter and getting switched out to smaller guards. So that's what I'm saying. For Brink, I don't think she would get the same love as well, just being a defensive specialist as a rookie, even though she was dominant on that side of the ball. But it's gonna be interesting. And I'm here for all the vibes. Who's got the most upside? Does that say in the game? What does that say, chat, in their game going forward? Oh, that's a great question. James Lynch, that's a great question. Who got the most upside in their game going forward? So let's go with this. I look at CaitlinClark. I look at Jackson. I look at AngelReese. So I look at upside. Upside is reaching your fullest potential when it comes to your development and developing your game. I look at CaitlinClark. CaitlinClark is averaging 17, 5, and 8 right now. And arguably, she's not even scoring the ball at the level that we've seen at Iowa. So for her upside, to me, her upside and her potential, I think CaitlinClark can one day average 30 points in this league. I think she's that cold. I think she's that gifted scoring. And also, I think She hasn't even mastered, similar to Trae Young, who I always have. That's her player comp to me because hoop is hoop. When you watch the games, you watch her playmaking ability, she reminds me of Trae Young. I think she could potentially average 27 and 10 someday in the WNBA. So for his upside going forward, I would say CaitlinClark has the most upside out of Jackson and out of Reese, due to the fact that CaitlinClark is already a 4-level scorer. She's already gets schemed. She already is a God level playmaker. And now we're just really waiting on her scoring to catch up for his the efficiency, also for his developing at the second level of the basketball court and incorporating a floater. And then we haven't even talked about the potential of her developing an off ball game when she doesn't need the ball in her hands to score. She's coming off screens and she's doing catch and shoot. So for his upside, out of the 3 rookies of CaitlinClark, Jackson, and Reese, I think CaitlinClark has the most upside and potential. And then after that, I'm going to go with Jackson because the same things that I talked about that CaitlinClark needs to improve on, Jackson kind of is already a 3-level scorer. Now, her volume for 3, she's shooting 35% for the 3-point line. Her volume, sometimes percentages can be a little screwed due to the fact that we're talking about volume. She only takes it like two a game. So she's shooting a high clip for the 3, but that doesn't automatically mean that she's a better 3-point shooter than a player that has more schemes and also shoots more shots, but also has more defensive coverage. But she's a 3-level scorer, 6'2". I would like her. She can handle the ball. I think she can get better at her ball handling as well. I think she can get better at her perimeter defense also. But for a two-way ability, she has a chance to be really, really solid and really, really good. I think she can be a potential 20 to 24-point scorer in this league. That's how smooth and polished her game is. And also what I love about Jackson is she plays the game at a high level. So I think she's next. And then last but not least, AngelReese for its upside. I feel like if AngelReese can develop an offensive game for its making her more of a wing than a big, I think she can develop as well for us being able to score in the second level of the basketball court and hit more jumpers. If she can develop that in her game, she's going to be even more special. But in order to develop that, she first has to develop of scoring the ball around the rim, because Cardoso is already a better finisher and more efficient around the rim than AngelReese. And then when we talk about upside with that, Cardoso may have more upside than AngelReese when we just talk about an offensive threat than AngelReese. But AngelReese has some things that Cardoso just doesn't have, and that's just that mentality, that dogness, that energy. You can't teach that. It's just like, and when you have that as a player, AngelReese is going to find a way to be impactful and get better. But she still has to develop around the rim because you can't be a big in this league and shooting 40% from the field. I think AngelReese, if she develops and can develop her both hands of scoring layups and her touch around the rim and finishing layups, I think potentially with her rebounding and her scoring, she's always averaging 12 points. I think if she's just making more of her layups and developing more post moves, even if she doesn't develop a second level in the basketball court for us, like the shooting, the jumper. And she's been taking some jumpers, and when she's on and she's hitting, that makes her even more of a threat because they're leaving her open. She needs to develop that part of her game. But for us, like around the rim, in the paint, in the restricted area, I feel like if she develops better touch, better understanding placement, better understanding of using her left hand, better, doing a baby spin and a baby hook around the rim. She really needs to get in the gym with Hakeem Olajuwon, or maybe even, Hakeem will do wonders for a game. But I think she can be an 18 to 20 point player in this league if she develops around the rim. We're talking about in her prime, potentially a 20 and 12 player. Like, this rookie class has so much potential in their games and so much upside. I believe this, and I mean this wholeheartedly. what this draft class of 2024 draft class has done for the WNBA is historic. And I think we have the chance to look at this draft class when it's all said and done, and potentially in the next 3 to 4 or 5 years, we probably remember this draft class and talk about this draft class in ways where we talked about the 2003 NBA draft class of LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, Carmelo Anthony, and Chris Bosh. That's how much potential this draft class, I believe, has. And it's players that we haven't even talked about. Cameron Brink, who's hurt. Aaliyah Edwards down in DC. Like, it's players that are under the radar that are really, really good and really, really solid and have loads of potential as well. Before it's like how we'll rank them potentially, I think CaitlinClark, Jackson, and Reese. Jamar Moore, bro, stop trying to make this girl something she's not. She's a great role player. Cardoso's a 20 and 10 girl. Cardoso is talented as well. Potentially, she can average that as well. She's very solid. She has very solid understanding of placement around the rim and also better touch than AngelReese. But people are quick to talk about Tristan Thompson in comparison to AngelReese. She's a role player right now. That's what people don't understand. So Jamar Moore, when you say that she's Tristan Thompson, you say AngelReese is Tristan Thompson, right? Tristan Thompson was a 12 and 10, 10 and 10 type of player, right? For his career. AngelReese right now is averaging 12 points and 13 rebounds as a rookie. What people don't understand is that what AngelReese is doing as a rookie, what CaitlinClark is doing as a rookie, what Jackson is doing as a rookie, right now, they're rookies. Like, you're telling me, so I'm having a hard time if they're coming into the WNBA, and a lot of people were talking and all that bullshit about how they weren't going to impact the game and how it was going to be difficult for them and how they weren't going to really leave their stamp. We're talking about CaitlinClark as a low-key MVP candidate. We're talking about AngelReese, who just broke another record of 20 rebounds or more, 3 consecutive games, leading the league in rebounds. If rebounding the basketball was as easy as some of y'all say, or not as impressive as some of y'all say, Brittany Griner, who's one of the best big men in the league and is like 6'9", has never averaged a double-double. So it's just kind of like, you got to stop disrespecting players and start really watching the game of basketball and also understand and things and having knowledge in the game of basketball before you start saying things. Because Brittany Griner, who is a stud, is a legend, I don't think she's ever averaged a double-double before in her WNBA career. And right now, and she's older, she's averaging like 17 and 7 right now. So we're looking at AngelReese, who's averaging 13 and 12 or 12 and 13. And people saying Tristan Thompson, role player, she's a rookie. She's a rookie. CaitlinClark, who's averaging 17, 5, and 8 right now, leading the league in assists. She's a rookie. Low-key an MVP candidate. These girls are going to get better. The game is changing. Basketball is changing. Stats are being broken. All these 3 ladies I mentioned, they're breaking records right now. They're rookies. This is the game of basketball in the WNBA is getting modernized. It's changing. The skill set is getting better. That's why I talk about Richea, the best shot maker in the league. Angel Wilson is dominating on offensively and defense. The game is better. It's getting better. It's getting better. Like, we got girls coming in. Paige is coming. Like, Fly J is coming. Like, we got hoopers coming in. Like, the stats that we've seen in the past and the great players that we've seen in the past, CaitlinClark is going to destroy those numbers. AngelReese may destroy some of these numbers, especially he's developed. Jackson may destroy some of these numbers, especially he's developed. But it is what it is. Make sure y'all go like, comment, and subscribe. It's your boy, Mike K. Smith. I'm gone, man. Peace.